East Tennessee's best high school football programs hit the field to kick off a brand new season. So lace up, strap in, and get ready, because the season starts right here at the First Bank Jamboree on 5 Star Preps.
Welcome in, everybody, to the First Bank Jamboree here at beautiful Carson Newman here in East Tennessee. I'm Jesse Smithy, your host for tonight. We're doing a kind of a preview show for the season. We're going to have maybe some live look-ins behind us here at the Jamboree. It just kicked off at 6:30 with Lakeway Christian taking on Jellicoe in matchup number 1. It'll be followed by Greenville versus Morristown East. We'll have our halftime activities. We're old school. We still like to do the punt, pass, and kick and lineman race and all that. And then after that, we'll have Clinton versus Catholic. And on the nightcap, CAK going to take on Campbell County. But I'm joined by Ashley Ingram, head football coach at Carson Newman, going into his second season. And Ashley, you had a fantastic year in year number 1 with the Eagles. Can you tell us about that and just kind of what the next step is for this program?
Yeah, we had a great season. Obviously, we won our Mountain Division. We won 9 games. We made the national playoffs. And we did it with the guys that were here. And then a few high school guys we recruited. You know, I was really proud of our coaches. I was really proud of the team. We hadn't had a lot of success here the last few years, and basically I told the guys when I took the job, I go, what I hate is the coach that comes in and says, well, I can't wait to get my guys in. I basically told them once I signed the contract, you're my guys, and those guys bought into everything that we asked of them, and we had a great season, and yeah, just trying to build on that.
As we sit here, you're constantly pointing out guys that are from our coverage area, from here in East Tennessee. How much do you rely on that East Tennessee kind of greater Knoxville area?
Oh, it's huge. We start everything from basically home base and work our way out. So obviously Knoxville, Knox County, down into Blount County's big. Sevier County obviously is very big, very good football being played there. Jefferson County, Hamlin County, that's where it all starts for us.
Yep. Speaking of starting for you, behind us, high school football. I know that means a lot to your family. Your dad's a high school football coach. You're telling me your brother's a high school football coach.
Right.
What has high school football meant to you and your family?
Oh, I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for my dad's connections to high school football. He coached 43 years in Georgia. My dad's dad passed away when he was 3 years old. My grandmother never remarried. His high school coach kind of became his mentor. Wow. And I think that's why he got into the profession. He came back home and coached with his old coach and ended up being the head coach there. So high school football is the reason I'm here. My brother's coaching in the Atlanta area, and I think he's close to year 30. So it means everything to us. Interesting note, Lakeway's behind us. Greg Vandegrift and I coached together.
Really?
In the spring of '99.
Wow. Together
at Campbell High School in the Atlanta area.
Wow. Well, we're starting to learn about Coach Vandegrift a little bit. He's a Knoxville guy,
right?
But of course made his name in the coaching ranks down in Georgia, winning a lot of state championships, and now he's come up to Lakeway, and they're building a pretty impressive program under there. So we're getting a chance to see him tonight. As for you, you coached in college for 16 years at Navy, and now you take this job at Carson Newman a year or so ago. Kind of describe what led you here and really what that experience at Navy did for you in terms of just being a head coach.
Right. Well, I loved being at the Naval Academy. It sounds kind of cliche, but you work with the best kids in the country. I mean, the kids are going to graduate. They're going to go serve our country in the Navy or the Marine Corps. Just some experience there are just second to none. I worked for Ken Niumatalola for 15 seasons there, and then Brian Newberry. But Coach Nehemiah is just a great guy. And I'm trying to model the program here after really the way we did things at the Naval Academy. Why Carson Newman? Well, I played at North Alabama. We played Carson Newman in the playoffs three separate times. I understood how good they were in football. But to leave the Naval Academy, it needed to be a little more. So I also understood the legacy that Coach Sparks built here. Obviously, being a Christian university, I knew that we could have an impact on young men's lives. So this was just a perfect spot for me.
Yeah. Well, Coach, I want to thank you for having us out here tonight. Your facility is unbelievable. Your staff here has been so welcoming, and we're certainly happy to have this event here once again this year.
Well, it's great to have this partnership, and this is an exciting time of year.
Yeah.
You know, when this event happens, that means it's football season.
Absolutely. It's the unofficial kickoff, and then next week is the official kickoff. We'll be right back here in week 1 as defending state champion Sevier County, 15-0 last year, won that 5A state championship. They make their state championship, I guess, debut, their defense debut against a good Farragut team out of Class 6A. That'll be Saturday, August 23rd, 7 o'clock right here at Carson Newman, so you don't want to miss that. Make sure you get your tickets online. We'll be tweeting out the link all next week. And but Coach, thanks again so much for joining us tonight. We got a lot to get to on the show tonight. We're going to be breaking down some of the coverage here that's going on behind us. We're going to be previewing teams, storylines, players in the area. So don't go anywhere from the First Bank Jamboree. And before we go to break, we're going to take a look at some fun moments from High School Football Media Day about a month ago out at Three Ridges.
You got thrust into things pretty early in your career. Did you feel like you got a welcome to high school football moment?
Oh, definitely, yeah. You get hit a couple times. I even think last year there were some moments I'm like, man, this is something else. But I think just getting hit like that, really wake you up.
Did you ever have a welcome to high school football moment?
Yeah, it was crazy because it's brotherhood. Yeah, it stays in the brotherhood. CJ, Ryan Scott, all them boys, they was on the defense, and they just started terrorizing me as the scout running back, tearing my jersey up. Welcome to high school.
Yeah.
I never did have a welcome to high school moment. I started playing towards the end of my freshman year, wide receiver. I didn't play any defense at this time, but as far as I can remember, I didn't have a welcome to high school
Not
moment.
even at practice, no upperclassmen, did you?
I mean, I'm sure I got beat a couple times in practice, but nothing too crazy where I remember it.
Did you ever have a welcome to high school football moment that was just kind of humbling?
Yeah, I did. It was, I think it may have been sophomore year, actually. We was in board drills, so we had a pad in between us, and it was me up against Brent Hayward.
Okay.
And let's just say he picked me up, and he definitely told me what was up. He put me into the ground.
Whenever you got to varsity football, did you have a welcome to high school football moment?
I'm not gonna lie, Jarvis Dozier, my freshman year, he gave me turf burn all above me, on my back. It was rough, but it's a part of it, and you grow from it.
So you're trying to tackle him, and that's
Oh my gosh, it was rough. He came down, but I think I got the worst part of it.
Probably my freshman year at Webb, we played, and I got in. I was 13 years old, and I looked at Joey Bonifancio. He played linebacker, and he was a big dude. He had paint on his face, and it was scary. It was scary, and I think that was a wake up call. I can't be scared of these people. I actually threw an interception that play. So yeah. So I played corner. I started corner. I was 14 my freshman year, and I wouldn't say I was the strongest guy out there, man. You got guys running outside zone out there, and they're laying you out, man. I'd say, man, we were playing Sevier County. It was probably week 7, and I got the brakes lit off me, man. I got nailed, and you just realize you're like, man, you're out here.
Moves fast, but no matter where you're headed, we've got you covered. We're here for all of life's first moments, getting the keys to your first home, building the foundation for your future, turning your big idea into something bigger, and having the freedom to enjoy it all. Because life never slows down, and neither do we. Wherever life takes you, bank on First Bank.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
I found my passion.
I found purpose.
We are Carson Newman.
What will you find?
When duty calls, the men and women of the Tennessee Air National Guard answer with pride, honor, and dedication. Serving both our country and our state, the Air National Guard stands ready, whether it's in the skies, on the ground, or in the community. When disaster strikes, the Tennessee Air National Guard is there. From responding to floods and tornadoes to providing relief during wildfires. Our airmen work tirelessly to protect and serve Tennessee's communities in their times of greatest need. The 134th Air Refueling Wing stationed in Knoxville keeps our skies protected and our missions fueled. Precision, teamwork, and unwavering focus. This wing represents the best of Tennessee's commitment to air superiority. In Nashville, the 118th Wing leads the way in cutting-edge cyber defense operations and unmanned aerial missions. With every keystroke and flight path, they protect America's most vital assets in an ever-changing digital world. And in Memphis, the 164th Airlift Wing powers through the skies, delivering troops, equipment, and aid across the globe. They are the heavy lifters, ensuring every mission succeeds, no matter the challenge. In the Tennessee Air National Guard, it's about teamwork. From security forces and cyber defense to firefighting and services, every role is critical. Together, we make the impossible possible. With the Tennessee Air National Guard, you can serve your state and nation while staying rooted in your community. You don't have to leave home to make a difference. Ready to join the home team that flies, fights, and wins? The Tennessee Air National Guard is calling. Answer the call.
All right, I know you've kind of been through the car wash of media today, so I'm sure you've been asked this 100 times, but just winning a state championship last year and all that came with it, did it live up to what you thought it would be?
Oh yeah, definitely. I think that was just truly a once-in-a-lifetime experience with how, we won those games last year in the playoffs. Now that we're onto a new season, that's the goal too. We've been working hard in the weight room, getting stronger and faster to be able to go win some games next year too.
When did you feel like you mentally turned the page from last season and started really focusing on 2025?
Really, I think, I let Christmas break go through, and then once it was the new year, I started getting with the guys, throwing with them. Some of them played basketball and some other sports, so we'd let them do that. But we've been really pushing it hard these last couple of months.
Yeah. I know outside of football, you've started to kind of tackle what the recruiting process has been like. What are your early impressions of it, and what have you learned already about it?
Yeah, it's definitely something. It's a cool experience getting to talk to a bunch of different schools and hearing what good things about them, and going up there and I've visited a couple schools to get a look at that stuff, first person, just to get a better understanding of what schools have to offer.
Is it hard at your age to not get wowed by these places? Because growing up here, we've all known UT, but when you go to a new place, it's like, oh man, this is awesome. Or you go here and like, this is awesome. Is it hard to kind of keep emotions in check sometimes?
Yeah, it's cool. It's definitely cool. You go back and look at some of the videos and pictures you took of their facilities. Because there's some crazy facilities in some of these schools. Just seeing all that stuff, you're truly grateful to be able to be in that situation.
What have been the goals for you so far, off-season wise?
Yeah, just continue to work on my game and improve at all aspects of it, really. Just getting stronger and faster. I've been going to a guy in Cyril, just working on that kind of stuff. And, helping my teammates and I build the chemistry, because we've had some guys graduate last year. Be able to have those new guys come in and do the same thing as they did.
Yep. Who have been some of the guys around you that have impressed, whether it's a wide receiver, running back, what have you?
Yeah, I've been real impressed with, our linemen. They've all been doing good. I can name all of those guys. Skill guys, we've had, the Parker Newmans and Jackson Perry, and, now we've thrown in Diego DeCourcy. We've had some good guys come out, and, they catch the ball, they'll get open, so I just throw it to the spot, trusting that they'll be there.
Yeah. Was there, being the competitor that you are, and you look back at last year, what did you dissect or see under your microscope there? Like, if I'm going to play in college, this has got to get better.
Yeah, I think really just improving everything, because there's nothing you want to stop working on, because at that point there's somebody else working on it to improve better than you are. So I think really there wasn't something I looked at that I'm like, I need to improve this, but just continuing to get better at it.
What about playbook-wise, responsibility at the line? You probably had some last year. Has that grown, or have you noticed it growing? Or
Yeah, it has. It's something I've talked about with Coach Penland, our offense coordinator, extending the playbook, learning, hey, if you see this, to flip the O-line block protection, because obviously you're going to know what the receivers are running as the quarterback, because you got to throw them the ball. But just, seeing what the disguises the defenses do, seeing them roll maybe post-snap or anything like that.
Welcome back, everybody, to the First Bank Jamboree here at Carson Newman's Burt Tarr Stadium, Jefferson City, Tennessee. I'm your host, Jesse Smithy. Kind of our unofficial preseason kickoff show here at the Jamboree tonight. You can see behind me we have Lakeway Christian taking on Jellicoe. Last time I looked over my shoulder, Lakeway Christian was winning, I think 1 touchdown to 0. They'll have a JV kind of second string quarter coming up after that. And then in the second matchup of the night, we got Greenville taking on Morristown East, and a lot of people excited tonight to see Zayden Anderson, a Tennessee commitment, wide receiver, cornerback, probably going to be a corner at the University of Tennessee, but he has committed to the Vols, did that this offseason. He has put on a show here in years past. They always like to throw it deep to him, use that track speed that he has, and they like to do it on the big stage here at Burt Tarr. So expecting more of that tonight, see how much they use him. I'm sure they're not going to put a lot of reps on these guys. They need them fresh for the 4A gauntlet this year. 4A is extra deep in East Tennessee now, not just with Anderson County, not just with Greenville and Elizabethton, but this is Alcoa's first year in 4A as the 10-time defending state champions from 3A make their leap up to 4A. We'll talk about that more in the show, but coming out of that interview with Cooper Newman, the rising junior quarterback at Sevier County led the Smoky Bears to an undefeated season a year ago, and now he's reaping all the benefits of that. 6'3", 200 pounds. He has offers from Duke, Northwestern, Michigan State, Maryland, Georgia Tech. He has become one of the Southeast top quarterback prospects, and when you talk with Cooper Newman, and you heard it in that interview, you hear a young man that's wise beyond his years, a young man who knows how to handle the spotlight. His older sister was a basketball standout at Gatlinburg-Pittman. She was cut from the same cloth. Nothing seemed to faze these kids, these Newman kids. No matter how bright the spotlight is, no matter how daunting the circumstances may be in a football game, nothing rattles Cooper Newman. And so you're not going to trick him with one of your questions. You're not going to, stump him with anything you throw his way. And for the recruiters that come to Sevier County practices, that's what they say to Coach Todd Loveday. Todd, we never see this guy miss. He doesn't miss a throw. And it's just more of the same once the season begins. So a lot of people excited to see Sevier County this year. We have them game 1 right here, week 1, Saturday, August 23rd, 7 p.m. right here on campus at Carson Newman. We invite you all out here from the Knoxville area, the Sevier County area, to come watch Sevier County make its state title defense debut in the opener against Farragut High School, a Class 6A team that really made some noise last year. Think back to about midway point through the 2024 season when Farragut was 0-5, got blown out on its home field by Bearden, and then the next thing you know, Farragut goes on an unbelievable tear over the last month of the season to not only get into the playoffs, but they threw a scare into Maryville and really did some nice things once Corbin Hopson, the sophomore quarterback then, really found his footing and found some belief and some confidence. That kid is very much capable of playing, I think, at the next level, and we're going to see more of that this year. The big loss for Farragut, they graduated 2 big-time receivers that they're going to have to replace. So for Corbin Hopson, he's going to have to manifest and farm out some new targets out of his wide receiver core and develop some chemistry with them in the early parts of the season. That's going to be hard to do against a really good Sevier County team that's got a lot of players coming back. Nevertheless, this is one of the premier matchups in East Tennessee, if not the state, for week 1. We talked with Corbin Hopson, the Farragut quarterback, at Media Day back in mid-July. Here's our conversation with Corbin Hopson. You'll get to see him at the First Bank Football Classic on August 23rd.
Corbin, last year was kind of your breakthrough year, and a lot of people started to learn about you, especially kind of late there in the season. How fun was that to kind of see it all pieced together there late for Farragut last year?
It was just exciting because I knew what I could do and what we could do, and it just really showed at the last 4 games of the regular season and then going into the playoffs.
When you're competing for a starting spot at quarterback like you were, I mean, what were the difficulties in that until you kind of finally grabbed it and took a hold of it?
It was just my confidence. Like, I didn't think I had a lot of confidence in myself, and not my decision making. I didn't be confident in what I was doing, and I just was making the wrong decisions and then overthinking a lot of things. But once I got to Bradley Central, I think I figured it all out.
I mean, what changed? Like, what made it kind of just snap into place?
Just the timing with Landon and Robbie. I just worked all off season and the first 5 weeks of the season with them, and it just clicked right there. I don't know. It just happened.
Yeah. So what do you feel like now going into this year? Is more confidence? Like,
it's confidence and trust in my abilities and in my teammates.
Mm-hmm. What do you feel like has grown responsibility-wise for you now that you've kind of been through it? Are they coaches kind of heaping more on you to handle a little bit more?
They're giving me a little bit more responsibility in the offense, and I can make my own decisions at sometimes, and just relying on me in moments that I need to be relied on.
Speaking of like kind of more responsibility, you kind of become coming back as a leader. Where are you in terms of kind of bringing about like new wide receivers or helping them understand like where they need to be? Or do you have to do that at all? Or?
Yes, sir. I try to help the younger guys, like some of the freshmen and the sophomores that I think could play with us this year in varsity, learn when to cut or where to go, or just like what to do in open space and where to stop, like all the stuff they need to know that I didn't need to tell any of my receivers last year. But
you were telling me before we started that you gained 20 pounds through another age. So where are you at height and weight-wise now?
I'm 6'3", 215, give or day. Like, I'm 210 sometimes, but okay. I'd like to say 6'3", 215.
Yeah. Is that something you intentionally set out to do this year in terms of packing on pounds?
Yes, sir. I was like 200, 6'2", leaving Dobbins Bennett, and I just felt like I could be like thrown around and stuff, so I didn't want that to happen this year. So I worked in the weight room and tried to gain a lot of weight.
That mean we're gonna get to see you run any or anything like that?
Yes, sir. I've been working on my speed a little bit.
Okay,
yes,
all right.
Moves fast, but no matter where you're headed, we've got you covered. We're here for all of life's first moments, getting the keys to your first home, building the foundation for your future, turning your big idea into something bigger, and having the freedom to enjoy it all. Because life never slows down, and neither do we. Wherever life takes you, bank on First Bank.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
I found my passion.
I found purpose.
We are Carson Newman.
What will you find?
When duty calls, the men and women of the Tennessee Air National Guard answer with pride, honor, and dedication. Serving both our country and our state, the Air National Guard stands ready, whether it's in the skies, on the ground, or in the community. When disaster strikes, the Tennessee Air National Guard is there. From responding to floods and tornadoes to providing relief during wildfires. Our airmen work tirelessly to protect and serve Tennessee's communities in their times of greatest need. The 134th Air Refueling Wing stationed in Knoxville keeps our skies protected and our missions fueled. Precision, teamwork, and unwavering focus. This wing represents the best of Tennessee's commitment to air superiority. In Nashville, the 118th Wing leads the way in cutting-edge cyber defense operations and unmanned aerial missions. With every keystroke and flight path, they protect America's most vital assets in an ever-changing digital world. And in Memphis, the 164th Airlift Wing powers through the skies, delivering troops, equipment, and aid across the globe. They are the heavy lifters, ensuring every mission succeeds, no matter the challenge. In the Tennessee Air National Guard, it's about teamwork. From security forces and cyber defense to firefighting and services, every role is critical. Together, we make the impossible possible. With the Tennessee Air National Guard, you can serve your state and nation while staying rooted in your community. You don't have to leave home to make a difference. Ready to join the home team that flies, fights, and wins? The Tennessee Air National Guard is calling. Answer the call.
Jamboree here at Carson Newman's Burt-Tarr Stadium. I'm Jesse Smithy of 5-Star Preps. Thanks for joining us tonight. Kind of our unofficial season preview show and a good run through for us for our walkthrough show, which does come back next week. Last year we had an unbelievable year at Triple F with Lee Smith and his staff and their facility out there in West Knoxville, right off kind of Pellissippi, headed toward Oak Ridge. And we've kind of signed on with them once again, so definitely looking forward to more of the walkthrough each and every week. We have player interviews, coach interviews, highlights. We have game breakdowns, predictions. We've got a huge prediction segment this year. I hadn't even told Jared, our producer, about that. I'm going to throw that at him last minute, but we just signed off on that this morning, and happy to bring back the walkthrough presented by Triple F next week. Paige Dower will be back as my co-host, and we had a lot of fun on set last year and looking forward to doing that again. We're here at the First Bank Jamboree, like I said, and finishing up our first matchup between Jellicoe and Lakeway Christian. I believe Lakeway Christian is still in the lead, up a touchdown on Jellicoe. And don't read too much into the scoreboard. You just want to play your starters for a little bit, and then we have our second quarter, which is the JV teams or the kind of the backups, getting them some action with a running clock here at Burt-Tarr Stadium. But coming up next, we have Greenville versus Morristown East. A lot of people excited about that one. Greenville, some expectations once again. Yes, they graduated Carson Quillen, the running back, who was a Mr. Football finalist, who won Mr. Baseball. He is signed to play baseball at Vanderbilt, but Greenville brings back Zayden Anderson, Tennessee football commit. People will get to see him tonight. Last year he wore number 1. I think he's wearing number 1 again, but you never know nowadays with kids. Sometimes they'll swap their jerseys before the season begins. But he's coming up next as Greenville takes on Morristown East. Then we'll have our halftime activities, the punch, the pass, the lineman race, the backs race, all of that. We love the old school events. We keep that here at our Jamboree each and every year. Following that, Clinton will take on Catholic in quarter 3 of the night. Clinton's kind of turning some heads here in this preseason. They got some key offseason transfers from around the area and really kind of bolstered that roster in Jake Dawson's first run through with the Dragons this fall. Definitely got some talent in Bryson Maddox, a 6'5" wide receiver who's getting Division I offers seemingly every week. But he's got some talent to go with him now. So I think that's going to take a little bit of pressure off of Bryson Maddox to produce 100, 150-yard receiving games each and every week. Now that they know that they can run the football, they have 2 capable quarterbacks, and they got some other guys that they can put out at skill positions at wide receiver, and again, take some of the defensive pressure off Bryson Maddox. They're going to go up against a really good Catholic team with Tyreek King, another Tennessee commitment that's here tonight. He's put on a show here in years past, so that's probably the premier matchup of the Jamboree here tonight at Carson Newman. And then in the nightcap, you got CAK taking on Campbell County. We'll have full coverage of our Jamboree, of the Knox County Schools Jamboree that's going on at Central tonight, all on 5starpreps.com. I'm talking game analysis, matchup analysis, comments, stats from coaches. We'll have photo galleries, and we'll have video tonight from our Jamboree. So make sure you're checking out 5starpreps.com. And I'll let you in on a little secret. If you need a sign-up code, type in new 2025, all kind of run together, one word. You'll get 30% off either your first month or your first year payment. So you sign up for a year, you put that 30% in, it really drops it down quite a bit. So a lot of people have been taking advantage of that this preseason, and we invite you to do the same. Each and every Friday night, we send out 4 or 5 reporters. We send out 2 or 3 photographers, videographers, to really blanket the coverage here in East Tennessee across 17 to 20 counties each and every Friday night. So that's what you're getting in value on Friday nights and Thursday nights with a subscription to 5starpreps.com. Oh, by the way, we're going to have predictions. We're going to have stat leaders all throughout the week. We're going to have Friday night previews. We're going to have feature stories, breaking news, recruiting. Everything you need and more comes along with that 5-Star Prep subscription. This is our, I think, 8th year. So you guys have been supporting us so much since our debut in May of 2018, and we hope that you stay along with us. or if you have a newcomer to high school football or whatever sport and you're a parent just discovering us, type in that code NEW2025, get 30% off your first month or a year payment, and tag along with us this football season. I promise you won't be disappointed. So again, we're going to get to a break. When we come back, hopefully we'll be joined by Eddie Spradlin, the head football coach at Greenville. I texted him. He's in football coach mode. He's probably not even looking at his phone right now. That's okay. We'll find somebody to track him down, or maybe another coach or player. But when we come back from break, we're going to have a live look in at our Jamboree, maybe talk to some players or coaches in our last segment of the night. So don't go anywhere. Stick with us right here at the First Bank Jamboree.
Moves fast, but no matter where you're headed, we've got you covered. We're here for all of life's first moments, getting the keys to your first home, building the foundation for your future, turning your big idea into something bigger, and having the freedom to enjoy it all. Because life never slows down, and neither do we. Wherever life takes you, bank on First Bank.
Sure, we've been around a while, 171 years to be exact. We know the power of a liberal arts-based Christian education and the tremendous potential of what can be found on this campus, within this community. We are adventurers, dreamers, believers, passionate and compassionate, curious and clever, driven by a common purpose towards a common goal.
I found my passion.
I found purpose.
We are Carson Newman.
What will you find?
When duty calls, the men and women of the Tennessee Air National Guard answer with pride, honor, and dedication. Serving both our country and our state, the Air National Guard stands ready. Whether it's in the skies, on the ground, or in the community. When disaster strikes, the Tennessee Air National Guard is there. From responding to floods and tornadoes to providing relief during wildfires. Our airmen work tirelessly to protect and serve Tennessee's communities in their times of greatest need. The 134th Air Refueling Wing stationed in Knoxville keeps our skies protected and our missions fueled. Precision, teamwork, and unwavering focus. This wing represents the best of Tennessee's commitment to air superiority. In Nashville, the 118th Wing leads the way in cutting-edge cyber defense operations and unmanned aerial missions. With every keystroke and flight path, they protect America's most vital assets in an ever-changing digital world. And in Memphis, the 164th Airlift Wing powers through the skies, delivering troops, equipment, and aid across the globe. They are the heavy lifters, ensuring every mission succeeds, no matter the challenge. In the Tennessee Air National Guard, it's about teamwork. From security forces and cyber defense to firefighting and services, every role is critical. Together, we make the impossible possible. With the Tennessee Air National Guard, you can serve your state and nation while staying rooted in your community. You don't have to leave home to make a difference. Ready to join the home team that flies, fights, and wins? The Tennessee Air National Guard is calling. Answer the call.
Welcome back. Final segment of the First Bank Jamboree preview show. We don't really have an official name for this thing. We're just trying some equipment out and having a little fun tonight. Thanks for hanging out with us. Our first kind of quarter matchup of the night is wrapping up. Lakeway Christian versus Jellicoe, finishing up here at Burt Tarr Stadium. Coming up next, Greenville versus Morristown East. We are efforting to get a coach down here. Probably going to be Coach Shadowins from Catholic, the last I heard. But for now, in the meantime, let's talk about some of the bigger storylines that we're going to be watching here in the 2025 season. Alcoa has won 10 consecutive state championships, but that was in 3A. Now they make the leap up to 4A this year. When we broke that news on 5starpreps.com, people went absolutely nuts thinking of, oh man, what would happen if Alcoa and Anderson County match up in the playoffs? Well, we're going to maybe get it even better. Week 11 this year, final night of the regular season, you got Alcoa versus Anderson County, most likely going to be for a region championship unless something crazy happens and injuries end up scarring a couple of the records, but all signs pointing to that being a region championship, and who knows, maybe we get them again in the playoffs. And so that's definitely one of the bigger storylines to watch is Alcoa making that jump up to 4A. We also have Oak Ridge jumping up into 6A this year in that same region with Maryville and Farragut and Bradley Central and Cleveland and Hardin Valley. So that 6A gauntlet for Maryville just gets even deeper this year with the addition of Oak Ridge. And it's an Oak Ridge team that made it all the way to the state semifinals in 5A last year, led by Blaine Stansberry, the all-time leading passer in Oak Ridge history. Think about what I just said right there. The all-time leading passer in Oak Ridge history. If there's something that Oak Ridge celebrates, it's its history and its tradition and all the great players that have come through that program. And Blaine Stansberry's at the top of that. Oh, still with the season to go. He's got Malik Howard, the tight end prospect, 2027, Power 4 prospect. Everybody in the country is after Malik Howard. You got Will Presley out at wide receiver, 6'1", absolute burner out there. You got your running back. So a lot of pieces in place for Oak Ridge to maybe contend and take on Maryville there late in the season for a region championship. It's all about staying healthy, and Oak Ridge battled that a year ago. Finally got some guys back healthy right there in the playoffs, and they were able to piece together that postseason run. So those are some of the bigger storylines that we're going to take a look at this year. We're now going to be joined by Coach Shadowins at Catholic High School. And, Coach, we're going to clip this on you somehow.
All right.
We're an unofficial show, so we're going to just do it here.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Jared, you hear him okay? Perfect. Coach, thanks for joining us kind of last minute here. I know y'all going to be playing here tonight. And what do you hope to see out of your program? We try to set this thing up where you actually get some work in. It's not just a ceremonial thing. What are you looking for tonight out of your Catholic squad?
Just play hard, play fast, play selfless. Make it about the team always, and get a lot of kids playing time really in that first quarter as well. I know the second quarter is going to be a JV for us, but I'd like to get some kids in that are kind of guys that may alternate on a Friday night as well. And so just put them kind of under the lights for the first time, test some of them, and just see how we respond.
There's a lot of new components to this Catholic team, whether it's new additions to the coaching staff, whether it's guys that are new to the lineup. And how have you seen that team kind of gelling at this point in the preseason?
Really, we have great leadership. The thing that I've really noticed, whether it was the kids that have been here for 3 years and going to be our senior leaders, or kids that have joined us, which had been a bunch. We've had three or four additions, but they've all made it about the team. They've all been great in the room. We have a great room. Our kids want to get better every day. It's kind of starts with that senior leadership, and we have a group of kids, about 15 seniors, that are really dedicated to making sure that we get to where we want to go, and we have the improvement every day. And that's kind of, we talk about improvement daily. The 1% better every day. It's kind of cliche-ish, but we talk about that a lot, and I think that depends on your senior leadership at many times. And so we have a room full of great leaders and really great kids, and so it's been a fun group to deal with every day.
Yep. We were talking about storylines before you hopped on here. I think one of the storylines with you guys is your quarterback, Mac Bartholomew, was kind of thrust into things last year because of injury. And I know he had good moments, he had bad moments. Now he's got a new OC and Rusty Bradley, who is a name that's really known around the area, and a new quarterback coach in Josh Jones. How has he kind of grown and kind of starting to adapt to their coaching style?
Well, you see him growing every day. Last year, he was coming off an ACL injury himself, thinking he was coming in to back up Jaden Neal, essentially. But then Jaden, that injury just lingered, and he ended up having to have surgery again right after the season ended. So, Mike started every game, I think, but one, and then Jaden had to come out of that one quickly as well. So he was thrust into a situation that made it tough on him. Not to mention, we were very young at every other position, and so we're young at quarterback, we were young at line, we were young in a lot of positions, and so it was challenging for him, for sure. But hard-working kid, got a lot of ability, and we've seen him grow with this offense and the more knowledge that he's gained with Rusty and with Josh Jones, as well as the rest of our offensive staff. We have an unbelievable staff over there. I'd say more of a college staff than a high school staff. You have three guys that work with receivers: Josh Smith, Amari Rogers, and Cody Core. Well, two of those guys spent a ton of time in the NFL, and then Josh Smith, obviously everybody knows, spent a lot of time had a great career at the University of Tennessee and spent 1 year with the Saints. So we have a very talented room of coaches. We have a very talented room of receivers. The thing that we've seen the improvement in is probably as much as anything is our offensive line is really, number one, they've dedicated themselves in the offseason to change their bodies. And so physically, if we can stay healthy, we don't have a ton of depth there. We have some. We feel like that'll be the biggest difference in our football team.
Well, one of the things I noticed about Catholic is 7-on-7 in preseason is it's not just Tyreek King anymore. Last year it was easy to kind of rely on him, and of course he's the Tennessee commit, wide receiver, Under Armour All-American. I can go on and on with his accolades, but there were new guys popping up at wide receiver positions or running back positions that look like they're ready to take the next step.
Absolutely. We feel like we have a receiver room that has 7 or 8 kids that are ready to play right now on Friday nights, and that's hard in our league, to have that many kids that can play, but we feel confident that we have a lot of pieces there. We have running backs, even though the running backs are still young, we have some really talented kids in the backfield, and obviously our offensive line's gotten so much better. So we hope that we can be a little more diversified on offense, not so Tyreek King heavy, but at the same time, you got to find ways to get the ball to the best receiver in the state, maybe one of the best receivers, I think, probably in the country.
Right.
So we're going to find ways to still make sure he has his touches.
Yeah, I've covered T. Higgins. I've covered a lot of the top players that have come out of East Tennessee, and Tyreek King's definitely up there, if not at the very top of that list. And you talked about coaching in that league. You've been in it a few years now. Can you describe to people who maybe don't see it week in and week out just how difficult Division II AAA is with the Baylors, the McCaulleys, the Brentwood Academies of the world?
Sure. First of all, everybody in the league, is well coached because they all have unlimited means to hire the best guys around. When you go to Ainsworth, you'll see, a staff of 15, and 9 of them played NFL football, and some of them played long careers in the NFL. So everybody's going to have that. Everybody's going to have coaching. That's a given. So it's really about the players that you have, right? And obviously Baylor and McCauley have a little bit of a different kind of advantage because they're a boarding school and nobody else in our league is. So they can get a few more kids than maybe everybody else, but there's no off weeks, and so I've been asked a ton. Some of my coaches who have been in 6A football, like I have been for a long, long time, like what's the difference between 6A football and private school football? Well, I would say, obviously a lot of great teams in 6A football, a lot of really good teams in 5A football, but the top to bottom, there's not a bad team. Like the worst teams in private school are still pretty good, and so that would be the difference, is that every week that it is a true challenge, and you never get to throw your helmet out there and think, hopefully we have, hopefully up by 30 at half. It's going to be a battle every Friday night, and so with that means we've got to battle every day in practice to be consistent, not be so up and down with what we do, and our kids have really kind of embraced that idea and that thought of the consistency of being great every day.
Well, Coach, I want to thank you for joining me kind of last minute here on the program. Thanks for coming out each and every year and participating in this event, and always welcome Catholic, and best of luck to you guys this season.
Thanks. Appreciate you asking.
That's Coach Shadowins. If you want to unclip your mic there, and you're free to go. You don't have to hang around.
Go coach now.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Yep. Coach Shadowins from Catholic High School. And you want to hop in? We got one more special guest. You really don't have anything to clip that onto, so you can just hold it up. You can just hold it up. No, joined by Bryson Maddox. Make sure you're going to hold it up there. And thanks for joining us on the program. You and I have talked multiple times through your career and preseason too. How excited are you for this season to finally kind of get here? Your senior year.
Yeah, I couldn't put it into words. Being here for 4 years, I think I'm going to finish it off with a bang, but it's surely been a blessing.
Yep. You have had offers. You've had big-time seasons. What were the goals? You've already checked off a lot of things.
Yeah.
Like, what did you push yourself to achieve this year?
I think I took it year by year, honestly. I think I've improved each year. And if I said it wasn't a state championship and a Mr. Football, just to be there would be super cool. But, of course, to win it and then, state championship, if that isn't your goal, then I don't know what you're doing.
So if you're tuning in at home and this guy doesn't have a jersey on, this is Bryson Maddox, 6'4", 6'5" wide receiver from Clinton High School. I think you ended up as our leading receiver last year statistically.
By 1 yard.
Yeah, by 1 yard. So definitely a big-time talent out of Clinton High School. But one of the things I've noticed about Clinton, and I was worried at first going into the offseason, just kind of like, the coaching changes and what it was going to look like. But there got some dudes around you this year.
Oh, my gosh. I think it's going to be on display tonight. We got another outside, Ryan Jones. He's going to have a huge year. I really expect probably 1,000 out of him. I'm not going to lie to you.
Okay.
And then we got 2 slots that can go, and they're playing, they're gritty, and they play their tail off.
So, that's got to make you feel better to know that each and every Friday night there's not a lot of pressure on you to put up 200 yards.
It's huge, and, if teams want to do that, then I'm the most unselfish guy on the team, I feel like. I really love my teammates, and their big nights are coming, and I'm really excited for it.
Yep. Going kind of back to your recruiting, I know you're still kind of getting offers as I follow you on social media. How are you handling that? Just kind of what do you see out of that process right now?
Like I said, back in early summer, I'm really trying to just make the right decision, you know, and my recruitment's wide open, but I'm definitely eyeing some certain schools, and I'm probably going to hop on one here soon, but it's definitely been a blessing just to, you know, be a part of this and definitely just experience this because it's super cool and it's something you've always dreamed of.
You talked about some of the players we're going to see tonight, and Clinton takes on Catholic right here after the half. Are you doing anything in the halftime show for us tonight, or halftime activity?
I won the fastest race for our team, but my ankle is kind of banged up a little bit, so they might let me, but we'll see.
So you had like a trial run. Y'all had to qualify to be it. Okay,
we had a little tryout.
I respect that. I just didn't know if just like somebody raises their hand, I'll run, whatever. But yeah, you definitely need to stay healthy there. But last thing with you, Jake Dawson took over as head football coach at Clinton. What's it been like?
It couldn't have been more of a blessing for me. The energy he brings, and everybody wants to talk about his age, but I think it's a pro, honestly. You know, just the energy and the effort he brings and everything he's put into his program so far is something else.
Yep. Bryson, thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much.
Good luck tonight. Best of luck this season.
Thank you.
That's Bryson Maddox of Clinton High School. Yep, absolutely. Big-time receiver, senior for Clinton High School. Statistically, our best receiver a year ago, even though they really didn't even go all the 15 games. So that's how many yards he put up a year ago. So right now we got Greenville and Morristown East going on behind us. I invite you to check out all of our coverage from the Jamborees tonight on 5starpreps.com. Again, that promo code, new 2025, all kind of together, no spaces, new 2025, 30% off your first month or year payment. Go ahead and use it for the year. We do basketball, we do all the spring sports, we do spring football coverage. You get football year-round on 5starpreps.com. And again, one more promo for next week will be our first. As you see Greenville score behind me. Number 21, I don't know who number 21 is. I just know Zayden Anderson, the Tennessee commits, number 1. But Greenville definitely expecting to do big things this year in 4A. We'll be writing about them a lot on 5starpreps.com and talking about them on the walkthrough each and every week at Triple F. That begins next week. We air it twice on our social media feeds like you're watching tonight. So make sure you check that out. So I'm signing off for tonight. Thank you all for joining us. Go back and watch the show, especially that interview at the top of the show with Ashley Ingram, the head football coach at Carson Newman. Very interesting guy, and I really enjoy talking with him. So thank you again for tuning in. Check out all the coverage tonight, and we'll see you next week.
Is the First Bank Jamboree, presented by 5-Star Preps. We're live from Carson Newman University, where East Tennessee's best high school football programs hit the field to kick off a brand new season. So lace up, strap in, and get ready, because the season starts right here at the First Bank Jamboree on 5-Star Preps.